Moment, space, lives.
Let's create lives.
Moment, space, lives. God the Father has a body. It's a very tone body.
He looks good, he looks good.
Moment, space, lives. Space, lives. Magic underwear fitting tight. Magic underwear is feeling right.
Space wise.
Moment, space, wise. Moment, space, wise. Lord Cola.
I would like to have intimacies with you.
On the planet of Naboo. Space lives.
Let's create life.
Space lives. God the Father has a body. It's a very tone body.
He looks good, he looks good, he looks good, he looks good, 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 good. Space, sex, space, sex.
Space. Moment, space lives. Moment, space lives. Space error. Moment, space lives.
Moment, space wise.
Moment, space lives.
Let's create space, sex, space.
Oh yeah! There's only one thing that can bring this world together, and that begins with you. But where it begins with you, not you. I'm gonna tell you what word it is. Usually on the dance floor. Get that ass up. Bankers, get on the floor. Bankers, make the people poor. Bankers, get more paid. Bankers, get more paid. Get more paid. I wanna see your ass poor. CEOs, yeah, I'm talking to you. Get more hoes, get more paid, get more votes, get more laid. I wanna see the CEOs ruining lives to the beat. Ruin those lives in 141 BPMs. Oh yeah. Sweet cool, sweet cool. Toes. Fiat clap. Shake that ass. Who's ready? On the dance floor. Aha! Oh yeah! Bankers, get on the floor. Bankers, make the people poor. Bankers, get more paid. Bankers, get more laid. Only one thing can bring this world together. Destruction of the middle class. Ha-ha! And more fiat cash in my bank account. Bankers, get on the floor. Bankers, make the people poor. Bankers, get more paid. Bankers,
Mormon space wives. Our God has a body. It's a very toned body. He looks good. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. From the space sex. Mormon space wives. Lords of color. Let me have intimacy with you on the planet of Naboo. Magic underwear fits so tight. Magic underwear feels so right. Mormon space wives, creating new lives. Mormon space wives. Mormon space Hey piggy, hey piggy, don't make me go back to that 9 to 5. Wage cut ain't no way to be alive. Don't make me go back to 9 to 5. Wage cut ain't no way to be alive. Ooh, hey piggy. Just give me one more super chat. Hey piggy. Just give me one more super chance. Hey piggy. Just give me one more super chance. Hey piggy. Just give me one. Ooh.
When I'm with my boo, 1 and 1 miss 2, then he mix free. Yeah, we had the baby. She want Versace, she want Gucci. Gotta lay down all my bands on the Lambo, cause she don't like my Volvo, no, no. Yeah, she got a diamond grill on her baby teeth. Coolest kid in the nursery, but you know, I'm not a materialist, an idealist. I flow with the transcendental argument. Reading Wittgenstein, investigate my girl philosophically. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? I just want the money.
Hey, Piggy, just give me one more super chat. Hey, Piggy, just give me one more super chance. Hey, Piggy, just give me one more super chance. Hey, Piggy,
Yeah,
just give me one.
yeah,
Ooh.
straight up, I'm simping for you, girl. I want my heart, want you in my world. I see you in the super chat, I see you wanna go from me. I see you on the OnlyFans and you got my heart in your hand. Please don't crush it, girl, understand that I'm a simp, but I'm proud. I'm a geek, but I'm proud. And I wanna feel your breath at a convention. I want my picture of you groping my ass to be on social media. I want my friends to see it on Discord. I'm gonna upload it to my subreddit and they all gonna see it. My friends, they gonna like it, they gonna retweet it, but I bet that it's gonna be the greatest moment of my life, and I want you to be a part of it, girl. Yeah.
Don't make me go back to that 9 to 5. Wage cut ain't no way to be alive. Don't make me go back to 9 to 5. Wage cut ain't no way to be alive. Ooh, hey Piggy, just give me one more super chat. Hey Piggy.
Cringecore Wigxanthium mumble rap is the next song, y'all. And all I'm gonna do is pick a corporate product. What's the worst corporate brand that you could think of? And I'm just gonna repeat the brand names, right? Long John Silver got that Long John Silver got that Long John Quiznos Pringles Subway JCPenney corn chips JCPenney corn chips Long John Quiznos Pringles Subway Long John Silver got that Long John Silver got that Long John Quiznos Pringles Subway JCPenney corn chips JCPenney corn chips Long John Quiznos Pringles Subway Long John Silver got that Long John Silver got that Long John Quiznos Pringles Subway JCPenney corn chips JCPenney corn chips Long John Quiznos Pringles Subway Long John Silver got that Long John Silver got that Long John Quiznos Pringles Subway JCPenney corn chips JCPenney corn chips Long John Quiznos Pringles Subway. All you do is you repeat stupid corporate. Here we go. Carbo Crew, Carbo Crew, Carbo Crew, Carbo Crew. Planet Fitness, Planet Fitness. McDonough, 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 McDonough. Cringecore mumble rap.
Cringecore, Cringecore,
I got that blockbuster. I got that blockbuster. I got that Palantir. I got that Palantir. I got that Will Fargo. I got that Will Fargo. Tylenol. Tylenol. I got no Bisco. I got no Bisco. I got that TJ Maxx. I got that TJ Maxx. I got Balenciaga. I got Balenciaga. I got Balenciaga. I got Balenciaga. This is fun. I'm like a rapper now. I'm a rapper now. Dang, I just realized it. You bet it's cringe. It's called Cringecore, dummy. Dude thinks he's on the cutting edge, the cusp of cutting edge, calling me cringe.
They stole some Sumerian technology that allowed them to predict outcomes, and that technology stopped working in 2012. We're going to get into that tomorrow. I find it to be fascinating. I wonder if they saw Charlie Kirk.
Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion.
But the Dark Ages was a time when black people ruled Europe. So when you go into the real history, you'll see King James was...
That's King James right there. That's James LeBron. That's King LeBron right there.
black. He was not a white guy. you'll see his whole lineage of kings.
Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion.
Who was a homosexual himself, who was in love with his sister Lucretia, who they made the image of Lucretia to be Mary. And that became the Renaissance era.
Lucretia. So hold on, you telling me Lucretia? That's a black name right there. How you gonna say that the people that was framing the black people were also black? That don't make no sense. Lucretia is a black as hell name. Lucretia. The church even allowed it, you know what I'm saying? The church allowed for straight pimping. That have been suppressed. Listen to my brother. In the 1500s, it was legal to be a pimp. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people.
They were getting ready to attack Israel.
Oh yeah.
Strike and 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 I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord says it is done.
How can one Chandra be so leaving?
I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of
Israel.
Strike and 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 strike and
Oh yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome. We are not going to be talking about twerking zyophiles tonight. Tonight is the night where we are once again vindicated. Yes, you heard me right. Massive vindication again. How? I don't know. It just so y'all, every day I wake up and it's like, what's in the news I talked about 10 years ago today? Oh, this rah. Check this out. What's that date? September 17th, 2016. Tweets from 2016, y'all. Look at that. Tweets from 2016. My sweet 16 was 2016. Look at that. What did I say? Arthur C. Clarke and NASA and Brookings Institute working together in 1968 to craft an alien psyop. 1960, Brookings Institute, commissioned by NASA, stated that the effects of discovery of ET life would be profound. Fundamentalists of all religious traditions would find it electrifying. It would have the potential of far-reaching consequences, especially amongst Christianity, where it is a social force. In particular, it's a ticking time bomb for the doctrine of the incarnation. The public's perception would be destroyed. Not only would the idea of the incarnation itself come under review, the whole of Christian ideas about God's plan of salvation would be severely problematized. Dr. Holroyd wrote, the Christian religion would be compromised because ET life means that the incarnation as a historical event and the knowledge of the person of Christ and his passion, ascension, atonement, etc., would either have to maintain the incarnation and crucifixion happen on innumerable worlds, which is the Origenist view, or they would have to update everything and there would be a problem for divine providence and divine theology. In 1960, they were discussing the alien psyop, the revelation that space brothers
Fake and gay space brothers. You got a homosexual uncle, cousin, right? I'm talking about your gay space brother, dude. Gay space brother, gay space brother, won't you come down from up on high? Gay space brother, won't you come down from up on high and touch my cheeks? Touch my glutes from on high. Touch my glutes from on high in the sky. Gay space brother, won't you come down and slap them cheeks? Can I get up? Slap on the cheek, yeah. Can I get up? Slap on the butt cheek, yeah. 'Cause a gay space brother, he's gonna come down and find you. Jamie's in there cracking up. I don't know whether I was going in the direction of a country song, and then it turned into like an inward, a wigger spiritual, a wegroid spiritual. Gay space brother, gonna come down from the mountain high. I said, gay space brother, he's gonna redesign your interior. Gay space brother, he's gonna clap them cheeks like. That's one of the hymns of Wigxanthium. Psych. Can you make it clap? I did. That's what it means, right? Isn't that what that means? I know a lot of rappers are fans of clapping. I mean, a lot of, rappers get a lot of flack. They get a lot of negative press, right? All I see is them wanting you to do, just clap, but they just want applause. When they say make it clap, as far as I can tell, they're just asking for applause. I don't know what y'all on about. Gay space brother, come down from the mountain. Gay space brother. He's going to do your interior designing. Anyway, enough joking around. Stop being so ridiculous. There you have it. That is from an academic text, not a conspiracy book. Brenda Denzler's book on the UFO phenomena and alien cults. And it's everything that we talked about. Now, isn't this providential? Because they just canonized within the Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia jurisdiction Father Seraphim Rose as a saint. So ROCOR has decided, yes, we do affirm that he was a man of sanctity. And what was one of the first podcasts that I don't want to say the first. We did a podcast on this 10 years ago on orthodoxy and the religion of the future. And we talked about the warnings about the fake and gay alien invasion, the demonic alien phenomena. Let's see. Gay Space Brothers. Here we go, right here. This is Jay Dyer. I was still using that old ass song back then. Oh, this isn't even a video. Look at this. This is just audio. 10 years ago. Look at that. 10 years ago, we covered this book. And we talked about what was coming. We talked about the fake and gay alien invasion. Not only that, some of the first podcasts that I ever did on YouTube was Collins Brothers, the fake and gay alien invasion 11 years ago. Look at this. Look at this.
And he basically let us know without going into great depth.
So this is 11 years ago with a phone interview. Straight up ancient, archaic skills there. phone interview with the Collins brothers on faking gay alien invasion. Now, for those that don't know, we just had, well, you wouldn't know this, but I just did a podcast with Eddie Bravo yesterday. I went back on Eddie Bravo's podcast, and the whole section, the whole last half of it was about UFO alien stuff because of this disclosure. They're going to disclose the existence of extraterrestrial craft and perhaps life. Trump, signed that some months back, the Disclosure Act, right? And I just want to point out that we've been consistently for over a decade, you can see here, warning and saying that this would be a large-scale social engineering, faking gay psyop. Now, that doesn't mean that I think everything about the phenomena is fake. There are advanced technologies. There are advanced drone craft that they keep secret. The Pentagon has all kinds of stuff like that. They use the alien smokescreen cover at one level just to deflect from experiments with that type of advanced technology. But there's also an unexplainable phenomena that does occur, and even some of the famous, longtime, non-Christian people in the Pentagon and the deep state that worked on this stuff, like Jacques Vallée, they describe it as an interdimensional evil force. They don't say demonic because Jacques Vallée isn't really a Christian. He was a Rosicrucian, but he was a computer scientist and it was at different levels working in these sort of deep state intelligence capacities and research and development. And Jacques Vallée, upon whom the character, the scientist character in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, played by Francois Truffaut, that character is based on Jacques Vallée. So even Spielberg, when he made Close Encounters, was basing some of the characters and some of this on purportedly, real world events and researchers. Now, I'm not saying Close Encounters is real. What I'm saying is that he includes the real elements and then turns it into a massive propaganda piece for the existence of alien life. And lo and behold, what is coming up in a few months? What amazing timing that your boy Steve Spielbergstein would be releasing a movie at the exact same time as the establishment's disclosure. It's just accident, though. There's no way that could be timed the same, right? And we have Emily Blunt as a news reporter, and she's up there, talking about the weather, yabba yap. And then lo and behold, aliens break through the transmission and they mess with our minds because I guess they can do mind control, which is ironically what the establishment itself does. So it's almost like aliens are perhaps a development out of MK Ultra. And then the aliens do the classic alien clicking. I don't know who first put aliens clicking, but I'm tired of it. Every movie since the 90s has aliens clicking. Why are aliens clicking? Maybe they rap. Maybe they talk like Curtis Blow. Maybe they talk like an 80s rapper. Who knows? We don't know. But why is every movie presenting them with this annoying ass click? And how come they all kind of look the same? It's just, come on, man, give me a new alien. I mean, aliens have bad aesthetics, right? They need to be dressing like gay dudes because aliens are gay as hell. They're always going in butts, that's all they care about. They're just pervs. They're intergalactic pervs that are here to mess with butts. They drove 40 million light years and crashed their vehicle to get laid because they couldn't get laid on their planet, I guess. I know what it is because aliens are all flat. They're all just little smooth down there. There's no butts. They're looking for butt cheeks because they have just flat, smooth nothing.
You weren't alone.
Oh, we're not alone because look, the deer are acting weird. And that clearly aliens must be the, if deer are, it's not chronic wasting disease, it's aliens. Birds are acting weird.
You.
Oh no, the birds.
Would that frighten you?
Well, isn't that interesting? Because it's almost like the reverse of the fall, right? Because in Genesis, the fall includes that the beasts would fear Adam and Eve after the fall. I'll put the fear of you upon all the beasts of the field, all the animals. So there's a sort of a reversal now. The effects of the fall are reversing because the aliens are just, I don't know. They're just touching the butt of the metaphysics of the universe too, right? They're messing with, they're traumatizing the universe itself metaphysically.
Look at today. Let's.
They're messing with her brain signals. See that?
Today is. Today's.
Today, Junior. Whoa, Spielberg's got clicking aliens. No way. Whoa. Oh no, and the whole world sees it on their phones. Now, if an alien can take over Emily Blunt's mind and just make her click, like how would you even stand against this? They could just take over anyone's mind right away, right? So already it seems like the logic of this plot would be hopeless. Unless the aliens are our saviors. When have we heard this narrative before? Oh, the day the earth stood still, right? The old original propaganda film that the CIA or OSS or CIA consultant, I think C.D. Jackson had a role in some of those films, who was the architect of the doctrinal warfare program that declassified, discussed the usage of various religious denominations, including the Catholic Church, primarily for the dissemination of Americanism. But the guy who was the architect of that, one of the architects, C.D. Jackson, also consulted and worked on a lot of films. And they were putting the alien propaganda into films like Day the Earth Stood Still with Klaatu, right? Klaatu is going to destroy the Earth if they don't disarm and form a United Nations world government. The meme itself is the plot of the ancient, of the old Alien film, right? The meme that the aliens say, form a world government and become a socialist state, disarm and depopulate, or else we will destroy you, and do that stuff, right? Faking aliens always have the same message that the TikTok elves, what are they called? The clockwork elves of DMT fame. Well, they just happen to say all the same stuff, bro. Like, I was smoking so much DMT, like the elves told me that, like, we need to have like a world government, whatever, and like if we just get rid of like a lot of people, like Earth will heal. The same message always. In fact, they even intentionally put pseudo-Christian symbolism into the film because the original alien who's the rebel against the bad aliens is a carpenter, right? He's a miraculous, mysterious carpenter man, aka it's referring to Christ, and he's there to help stop the aliens from destroying Earth. But in order to do this, the scientism bros have to save us. Earth's scientism bros have to get together with the United Nations and create, as Albert Einstein argued, a socialist world government. And only through science and socialism, scientific socialism, could we save Earth from nuking itself, or by Klaatu Barata, whatever his name is, Klaatu nuking us. So the messaging, the propaganda has been the same in the fiction from Day the Earth Stood Still all the way up until now with disclosure. I bet you money that's going to be the plot. Also, this was the reason why I didn't like the movie Arrival, the one with Amy Adams. Because in that story, the aliens were going to nuke the Earth, and it was only when Amy Adams figured out the stupid squid alien language through looking at coffee cup stains could she figure out how to talk to them so that we wouldn't be nuked. And it took all the science people coming together to overcome the racial and ethnic and religious divides that unfortunately plague the poor, stupid people of Earth, and only the enlightened scientism bros, actually the ethnic BIPOC scientism women, are the only ones that can save us. By the way, why is it a white woman saving us? Oh, y'all thought y'all was being woke when you had white ass Amy Adams saving the Earth. Excuse me? If anybody could interpret squid squirts, it would be a sister or a BIPOC person such as myself. Okay, so that was whitewashing right there. Okay. Anyways, lo and behold, Steven Spielberg is going to do an alien movie. Can't believe it. Who's heard of such a thing?
People have a right to know the truth.
And imagine how silly the level of propagandizing is when, like, people think the government's hiding the aliens from us. No, dummy. The government wants you to believe in the aliens, right? And by the way, Eddie Bravo has finally come around to that position, right? He admitted that. He's like, all right, I believe now that they want us believing in aliens. Good. That's that's moving in my direction. And the argument I have on this, which I've had for the whole time. By the way, shout out to the Collins brothers, because they've been on top of this as well. And they wrote a whole book on this. It came out a few years ago called Invoking the Beyond. It's a 1,000-page book. And the middle 300 or 400 pages is entirely just about the alien psyop and all of the faking gay stuff that plagues the alien psyop from its inception, whether it's Roswell, whether it's the Majestic 12, whether it is, Betty Barney Hill and their frauds, their fraud nonsense and their occultic practices, or whether it's George Adamski and his occultic practices, his involvement in Rosicrucianism. By the way, you notice the alien phenomena, there's always these Rosicrucians that pop up. You get Jacques Vallée, you get George Adamski, you get other operators within the Black Ops side of the deep state that are into Rosicrucianism and Hermeticism. There's always an overlap with the occultic stuff, and particularly the Crowleyan elements as well, and the Far Eastern tantric stuff, because they believe that when you're tapping into the gods, turns out many of the tantric practices also think that it's the gods or the entities in the stellar sphere, which are the demons, which are the aliens. What did C.S. Lewis put in the third edition, the third volume of the Space Trilogy? The aliens that are creating a world government under the basically Tavistock Socialist Institute in the UK, they want to depopulate everybody. Oh, it turns out they're demons. Exactly. Jamie, what do you want me to promote? Jamie also recently did a podcast on her channel called E.T. Phone Ohm about Eastern religions, aliens, and the gods, right? Now, note that in a lot of those Eastern religious practices, sex magic actually comes out of that. Right, Crowley's development of the system of modern sex magic in the West is actually a combination of Western Hermeticism with the tantric practices, right? Tantric Buddhism, etc. And the tantric idea includes that you're tapping into other dimensions and other realms to become empowered by the forces that take you over, or the demons, to become possessed. And one of the best ways to do that, as the Serbs say, is the devil wants in your butt. And that becomes one of the key pathways to this sort of infestation or problem that people develop when they get into these practices, is that it leads to psychosis, it leads to mania, it leads to insanity. And that's why when you get really into Tantrism, and it's the fact that it had all these influences on Thelema and Crowley's systems, you can see why many of the people that are in the Crowleyan ethos, they actually say, we are contacting aliens, and those are the gods, right? So they say the exact same thing. In fact, Crowley's picture of Lamb is supposed to be a ascended master, hence Lama or Lamb, right? And Crowley believed that one of the entities that he was contacting, Lamb here, who happens to be the first gray, the large alien gray. Other people have noted this too, right? Here's Whitley Strieber's description of what he thinks he's saw in his supposed events. Also, Jamie's podcast, Guru's Gone Wild, covers this as well. But you'll see there the comparison between the entity that Crowley claimed to have interacted with. And this is way before anybody drew pictures of the grays, right? Or the tall whites or whatever nonsense the alien people come up with. Oh, well, it just happens to look like a demon. So what do you know? Guys, if you want to support the stream, you can do so through Super Chat. Super Chat's done through Streamlabs or natively through YouTube. You can do it right there. But don't forget either that, again, highlighting the connection to the Tantric Far Eastern stuff, Lamb is a Lama, right? He's an ascended master, supposedly, or one of the former ascended masters who has passed on to the ether and is now contacting us and telling us the ancient mystical secrets through the dimensions and portals that you enter through the ANUS. Yes, this is Typhonian magic or Transugothian magic, which is magic done through accessing the gods through the portals. And then one of those portals is the booty hole. I'm not joking, by the way. Sounds like I'm joking. I'm not. Guys, if you hit like and share, we are covering the imminent disclosure psychological warfare op deception that is two-pronged in its attack. You have the fake and gay mainstream media and the fake and gay Hollywood media at the exact same time putting out the propaganda about alien disclosure. All right, now let's look at what is exactly going on. See if there's anything else in this comment. I mean, in this trailer. Uh-oh, they make you sweat too. Look at that. Oh, they make you sweat. Crop circles, dude. Whoa. Let's come over here and listen to this clip. Because your boy Cash Patel, Cash paid right here. Cash Patel, Cash paid. Cash money right here. He says, it's coming, buddy. It's the aliens is coming.
Age of disclosure.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, you're busy. You have a full-time job. I'm more and more convinced that probably, and my faith tells me, we have universes within universes. There's no limit to God's imagination.
Yeah, your weird Roman Catholic faith itself doesn't tell you that. Maybe it does. Maybe his weird Roman Catholic faith tells him that there are worlds, millions of worlds within worlds. That's quantum gibberish, dude. What are you talking about? That's actually Talmudic, brother. The Talmud teaches that there's 186,000 worlds. So alien stuff is actually also Talmudic.
So the idea that there would be life on other planets that may be visited here that would not at all shock or surprise me. Have you ever looked into it?
We're looking at it. Here's the thing. Again,
okay, I want all the details.
Here's the thing. Every other president before President Trump could have said, hey, let's look at that and get the American people the information. What did he do? He stood up an interagency process with Department of War leading that effort to get out the documentation related to everything that you're talking about, not just from the FBI, from the IC and everywhere else. And so what do? We already delivered our first tranche of information to that committee, and they're going to be publicly releasing this information very soon. We are all for it. There's nothing in this subject that we're talking about that we don't want released. Our job at the FBI is to work with the White House and DOW.
So notice you've been told by the normie conspiracy low tier world that the government is covering up alien existence. They're covering up the phenomena. They don't want us knowing the truth, but the truth is out there, right? As if we're all, Mulder and Scully out here at a basic bitch level we're going to figure out the truth and we're going to expose the government for covering up the aliens. But here is the government now saying, we want you to know and we want you to believe in the aliens. What are you talking about?
Give them the information, and then they're going to put that out in a methodical process. And you're going to start seeing those releases literally happening in the very near future. We just met on it.
So religious leaders told, prepare now for UFO disclosure to unleash Bible-changing revelations. That's the...
Again, what did I warn you? What did I tell you? And Father Seraphim Rose did way before I did, obviously. But what did I put when I dug up that Brookings Institute paper? I told you that they will use this deception on a mass scale to replace the Western biblical tradition and move us into a new ideological tradition. What is that new ideology? Well, anything that's compatible with New Age, with transhumanism, with the idea of everything being an emergent flux sort of property, that you can have new life forms popping into existence. AI will perhaps be called conscious. In fact, Richard Dawkins just said that he thinks that it's possible that AI is conscious now. And that's just based on his own materialistic definition of what consciousness is. I mean, by that definition, you could then elastically expand it to make anything you can make, because the calculators are therefore now conscious based on these weird elastic definitions. So here you have in 1960, a white paper from the Brookings Institute, which is one of the top think tanks up there with Rand Corporation, Carnegie Foundation, Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, Soros Foundation. Same type of entity, Brookings Institute, right? Brookings Institute put the paper out a while back that we would go to war against Iran for Israel, right? The paper for the Pathway to Persia paper that everybody's been talking about. That's the same institute that in 1960, okay, people got to understand presidents aren't calling the shots. Maybe to a small degree, they have a limited amount of power. Think tanks, NGOs, and foundations call the shots. They policy plan. They are the steering committees that steer us in the direction that the real power elite want to go. The power elite do not care if you believe in, they don't care about your conspiracy theories. They want you to believe that aliens exist. That's what I'm trying to say. I think, by the way, that this was a deception. My assessment, my opinion is that this is a deception all the way back to the Majestic 12, right? Majestic 12 was itself a kind of a conspiracy saying that there's a cover-up of alien existence and craft and phenomena. But MJ12 gave the impression of the cover-up, which was the normal sort of basic bitch boomer conspiracy theory for like decades. And now suddenly, and it's, by the way, it has to be under a boomer. It has to be under Boomer Trump and his MAGA cult that they have the release of the alien nonsense, because the boomers are still largely in control. It's not totally given over to the Gen X yet. And so the boomers are the ones that are all going to fall for this, because there's two classic boomer conspiracies, JFK and aliens. Nobody cares about JFK, but everybody now supposedly is supposed to care about aliens. Although I'm not exactly sure that enough people care about this. Maybe they do. But the problem is that the government has lied forever. People kind of have figured out the government lies forever. Oh, but they're going to now tell us the truth about aliens. What are you talking about? This is so, you got to be so stupid to believe this, right? Just on the face of it, right? So there's a deeper level to this, which includes all of these suspicious, super sus black ops people come out of what's called the aviary, people involved in defense technology, people involved in actual psychological warfare, John B. Alexander, people involved in non-lethal technologies, people involved in the CIA's black ops throughout the world and are part of this. And we're supposed to believe them. I'm not talking about whistleblowers. I'm talking about people in the establishment. Okay. It's total boomer slop, right? I mean, this is the conspiracy equivalent of Pastor Sheikh Jonathan Shelley, right? Sheikh Jonathan Shelley, as we saw, was perhaps the stupidest person I've ever debated. Right there with Misfit Patriot, Not So Erudite. Same tier. And the boomer conspiracy narrative about aliens is that tier. It's that level, right? No critical thinking, fuzzy blurry videos for freaking 50, 60 years when we got everybody has a 1080 camera on their phone. And now, by the way, with AI, like that's all ruined anyway, because now any image could potentially be AI. So, or video. So I'm not sure what the logic is, except again, it has to, I think, be perhaps still during the reign of the boomer, right? The only way that this could work is in the reign of Boomer Supreme. Especially make a cartoon of ye Lord Boomer Supreme. I guess it could just be Trump. Trump could be Lord Boomer Supreme the first. And that's why we're getting all this rolled out when because the boomer slop, they eat this shit up, dude. They eat this shit up. And they can't even recognize, as everybody knows, like when something's AI, right? I seen Bibi Netanyahu floating over Israel on a video. That's got to be God's miracle. That's got to be the Lion of the tribe of Judah holding up Bibi. He was floating in the air, levitating. He was Eugene levitating. That's got to be a sign. It's got to be a sign. I seen it. And then you're like, no, Grandma, that was AI. What's that? No, that ain't AI. I seen Trump. Trump had giant, he was benching 600 pounds on a video. How could they fake that? Dude, in the Mirageman video, they were talking about faking alien videos in the 70s and 80s. What are you talking about? And by the way, when they fake the alien, they don't even try when they fake the alien videos. They look like Mystery Science Theater episodes.
Mail. Other headlines. Trump's alien files could shatter Christian beliefs. Churches should prepare for it, claims pastors. Well.
Oh, exactly what I said, dude. I seen it in the AI video. And that Netanyahu, he's the Lion of the tribe of Judah. The rapture's coming. The rapture. I got to lose weight or else I won't be able to be raptured. Now, he might not be able to pick me up. I might not can fly if I don't lose some weight. Honey, I got to stop wearing muumuus. I don't want to be raptured in my muumuu and my curlers.
What I was told decades ago and what's now been leaked by whistleblowers is that they're splicing humans and animals, which they've declassified they are. They just haven't shown. No. What does that have to do with this? I don't think I can get away with playing a whole Alex clip here, so we're not going to do that. But now here is this. I don't know who this person is, but 1 million people have sent me this. Is Perry Stone, is he some like evangelical end times goofball? Is he one of these? I'm assuming. I mean, just looking at the dude, that's what he gives off that vibe, right? And like 1 million people have sent me this video. So we got to cover this. We got to see what's going on because he's talking about by the way, is dude wearing a Ed Hardy shirt? Dude's wearing an Ed Hardy shirt. Maybe those are back in style. Maybe we're 20 years from Ed Hardy gear. So maybe it's back now. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of style because Ed Hardy shit is back and I just don't even know. And even Gen X boomer pastors are more drippy than I am now. Is that what's happening? Shit. Damn, dude, I got out dripped by Pastor Perry Stone. Damn, son. All right, I don't know what is the deal. Let's see what he said.
That sent me a text message. I was in a meeting, a weekend meeting, preaching Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. And he said, Perry, can you give me a call? I have some information that has come to my attention.
I'm so sick of pastors. Is everybody else sick of pastors? Am I the only person sick of pastors? I'm a pastor, and we got a church down at the strip mall with 15 other pastors who pastor the 2,300 other pastors underneath those pastors, and they pastor the ministers who minister to the 3,000 ministers throughout the country in our congregation of pastors.
pastors, pastors.
Of course, when a friend of yours does that you know quite well, you have no idea what information they're talking about.
Friends, I got a call from the men in black inside the government. And the men in black said that the rapture's coming, but don't believe the first rapture, because the rapture that's going to happen, that's the fake rapture, is the alien rapture. And then the Lord Jesus will bring the true rapture after the alien rapture.
And I'm not going to go into great detail, but there were a large number of pastors that had been invited.
Pastors are the pastors, and the pastor's pastor. I'm the pastor of the pastor, and a pastor in the pastor, and I'm a pastor of all pastors. Would you pastor me, please? Let me pester you about pastoring, and let me have some pesto with a pastor.
Invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States.
How many times is he going to say pastor in the next minute?
States government and others share with them a concern that they had. And this particular man, and I'll not name him, and then we may end up doing some.
Oh, so it's the men in black. The pastors are talking to the men in black. And the men in black are talking to the pastors to prepare the congregations for the imminent disclosure.
Teachings with him, or having an event at his church. He has a great church. But he said, Perry,
does that church have pastors? The only thing I'm concerned about is the pastors. I heard you mention a church, but does it have pastors? Could I get a list of all the pastors?
What they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft, that some of the people who were in the meeting,
were they pastors?
Were telling us as pastors,
oh, pastors,
you need to prepare your people, and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear.
Well, tell me more about the pastors. Can we get an alien pastor? Do they have ordination on the planet of Caledonia? Do they have ordination in Sirius? Do they have deacons on Deep Space Nine? Is there a pastor on the USS Enterprise under could we call Captain Picard Pastor Picard?
Being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not alleged.
Boomers be like, Kraft cheese? Are they bringing Kraft cheese? I hope that the aliens, if they come, they bring Kraft cheese.
A part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet.
Oh my goodness. Are they made of pastors? Are they pastor parts?
Very strange reptilian-looking creatures.
Dude, is there anybody dumber? No, there are. I always say this, right? If I'm talking to the Roman Catholics, I'm saying, is there anybody dumber than the Roman Catholics? And then if I'm talking to the Muslims, is there anybody dumber than the Muslims? Then I'm talking to the evangelicals and the IFB cult leader dude that I debated. Is there anybody dumber than they're all just, is there anybody dumber than all of them? No. They're all one equalitarian glob of dumb.
And other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie.
A sci-fi movie? No. You mean like a Steve Spielberg movie?
Or an Orson Welles book.
Orson Welles? Ain't he a movie director too? Orson Welles? Did he say Orson Welles?
A sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book.
H.G. Wells, the idiot. An Orson Welles book. Yeah, Orson Welles is an H.G. Wells. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm going to listen to a pastor who don't know the difference between H.G. Wells and Orson Welles. Who? Who the hell is Orson Welles? An Orson Welles book. Dude, this clip was gold. Yeah, it's Gnosticism, all right, but it's also retardicism, right? Welcome to Retardistan. Okay, now there's another clip. Where's that other clip? There's another clip of a goofy looking boomer dude. Let's see if this one comes up. Is this it? This is it. Okay, now who the hell is this dude? This dude looks like like he was recruited to be a dwarf in Lord of the Rings, but he didn't make the cut, right? So we got this is he a pastor too? I'll just make everybody a pastor. Everybody's a pastor. I go to a church of the pastors, and every congregant is a pastor. Would that everybody in God's congregation were a pastor. It's the prophet Moses said, would that everybody were a pastor. Who is this dude? Somebody tell me in the chat. You better recognize. You better tell me who this man is, or I'm going to stop preaching. Friends, the aliens are coming, and they're going to touch your butt. Close your butts. Listen, if everybody wore a chastity belt, aliens couldn't probe you. I'm going to bring back the chastity belt. We need a space chastity belt, son. There's a space chastity belt that's also an herb belt with herb pouches. That's a Parks and Rec joke. All right. Y'all seem to be entertained, but nobody's super chatting. Can we get no love tonight? Can you feel the love tonight? Alan Didio. Ronnie Dio. He's equipping end times believers. Oh my gosh. So already this is off to a bad start. All I need to see was the bio to see that this is another he's got some rosy cheeks too. Like this dude looks a little soft. He looks like he might be ready for the aliens to come probe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who this is, but it don't look good. Revival Nation, Revival News. Dude, I can't, anybody using these stupid low quality AI slop backgrounds like that, I hate that so much. I cannot stand those. I mean, I don't mind using a little AI for your thumbnails or whatever. We all got to do it. And originally I thought the cartoony looking pastor ones were funny. I might have to go back and change them because now I'm sick of it, right? I'm sick of this kind of shit right here. Like this just looks so, and all the Baptist IFB people, they all make these stupid AI fake ass, just cheap looking thing. Just looking cheap, dude. Trump promises the UFO files to be released. Encounter today, and he calls himself a social media influencer. Man, I'm just going to tell you right now, when I see a Gen X dude with a goatee, at least he's got a little bit of a beard here. When I see a Gen X dude with a goatee, I'm leaving, dude. I'm out. Like I'm out the room. I'm out, dude. Because I already know there's just something about Gen X dudes with goatees. I just know this dude's gonna suck. Like there's just no way, right? I'm surprised he did. That pastor had one, didn't he? Pastor who? Perry Stone, didn't he? He had a goatee too, didn't he? Dude, goatees in 2026. I mean, that's not really a goatee, but in the other picture, he had a goatee. Goatees in 2026, man, that's an easy indicator of, okay, this dude is going to suck. Like, this dude is going to be just shitty. Yeah, look at that. Goatee. Look at that. Goatee. Dude, it's not 1998. It ain't 2003. All right? You ain't Kirby Puckett. Okay? You're not Mark McGuire. Nobody wears goatees, dude. And this ain't a goatee, by the way. This is a damn pirate shave right here, right? I got this and I got this. You don't see a connector here you don't see this shit right here. Okay. I hate goatees. I think they look retarded. It's like goatees are like wearing a fedora, dude. It's the Gen X equivalent of a fedora. It's not making you look cool, dude. At least this dude has a beard, but we know this dude's going to suck. Let's see what he says.
He and myself were lured into a meeting at an undisclosed location where...
First of all, I don't believe any of these retards out of hand. Any evangelical end times goofball saying that he was taken to a location, automatic red flags, don't believe.
We were forced to turn our phones on airplane mode and hear from those who are working.
These are all mouthpieces of the deep state. All these evangelical goobers are mouthpieces of the deep state, or the revival nation, and mouthpieces of the big Z. In fact, let's come over here to the history. No, to say, no, I saved this video. That's right. Where Tucker interviewed a dude talking about, and this is very relevant to what we're talking about right now, thousands of pastors. Pastors! Here we go again. Freaking pastors, dude. Listen, as soon as we avoid pastors, here we go.
You wind up
when
with
we figure out pastors are retards, the country will begin to heal. That's the thing we got to figure out. All right, so this is what I was talking about with pastors.
Christian politicians who are constantly invoking the name of Jesus, supporting the murder of their fellow Christians in the Levant. So like that is I think that's very serious. I don't think you should.
Yeah, we got to understand evangelicals and mid-America Bible thumper idiots, they don't believe that those people are Christians. Like they're that stupid. They don't know that the Christian church was first called Christians in Antioch in the book of Acts. They don't make a connection in their mind between what's in the book of Acts and an actual place in Syria.
You should do that. I think you're going to suffer for that. Like, don't do that. How can you excuse or aid in the murder of innocents in the name of Jesus? And I've said this.
Because people are stupid. They're not at all educated in any of this stuff. When I was a Baptist, I didn't know anything about any of this. I didn't know what the churches in Syria or Israel were, or who that was in them, or what they were like, or the history of the church. Everybody saw last night, there's a pastor who doesn't know anything about the history of the church. He doesn't know anything about the canon of Scripture. Doesn't know anything about basic history in the Roman Empire. He didn't even know that people were illiterate in the ancient world. I mean, just an absolutely ignorant, foolish person. That's the average Baptist, right? And I understand that guy was a IFB, right? Independent Fundamentalist Baptist. He's one of the minions of Steven Anderson, that absolutely psychotic cult leader. So we can say, well, he's an extreme example. No. Maybe in terms of the weird views that he has of an eternal Bible, but the attitude in terms of the ignorance and the arrogance that goes along with the ignorance, that's the average evangelical.
Directly to a bunch of these politicians, because I get very upset about it. And they're like under a spell. Like they don't, even in private, they're like, well, we have to. What is that?
Last December, the State of Israel, the Foreign Ministry of the State of Israel, sponsored a summit in Jerusalem. They brought 1,000 U.S. pastors to Israel to attend military briefings.
Military briefings?
Yes. The head of the state was there. The prime minister was there. They were commissioning them as ambassadors, not for Jesus, but for the state of Israel.
So notice, the very first heresy that the church battles in the book of Acts and in the first century, Judaizing, the first great heresy. Now it's the present day main heresy, because the entire evangelical American ethos has been duped by this version of, it's not about circumcision, right? So in the early church, it was about circumcision. That was the Judaizing heresy that was constantly being combated in the book of Acts, particularly at the Jerusalem Council in Acts 15. And then you'd have Judaizers who continued on, obviously, after that. And we have people who have those types of views still today, people like Bryson Gay, who are crazy, insane Judaizing cult leaders as well. But more specifically now, it's about eschatology and an ecclesiological heresy. They don't believe that the church is the fulfillment of what Israel was a type, right? So they think that all those promises which are fulfilled in baptism in Christ are not fulfilled, and they apply to a modern socialist recent creation nation state.
They were talking about this unholy alliance being formed.
Oh, they attacked me by name, I know.
Right, and they attacked you and all of that. But what really caught my attention, Tucker, when I was reading over the website of that summit, I was reading some notes and some guidelines, do's and don'ts. One of the guidelines, it's a Christian ministry also who's organizing this with the Foreign Ministry Affairs. One of the guidelines stated that do not speak of the name of Jesus. Preaching is not allowed in Jerusalem. Express your faith through acts of kindness and all that, but do not mention Jesus.
Why?
When I read that, my mind...
So people have to understand, right? Muslims covertly and ignorantly hate Christ and are antichrist, right? Because they think he's just a prophet. But Talmudic Judaism is explicitly opposed to Christ, right? So they're, it's like being lukewarm versus being hot, right? I mean, we all know that Talmudic Judaism is absolutely opposed to the person of Christ. But you have to understand that Islam is also insidious in that it is antichrist in spirit because they deny that he's the Son of God. And thus, as John says in 1 John 2, they are also of antichrist.
Went back all the way to the book of Acts, chapter 5. When the spiritual elites in Jerusalem, they summoned Peter and the disciples, and you know what they told them? Do not speak of the name of Jesus.
So notice the same attitude of the present day Israeli power structure is identical to the rabbinical power structure 2,000 years ago.
Imagine those pastors coming to Jerusalem to not be able to share their faith and to share about their Christ and their Messiah, the hope. That's one thing. The other thing, none of these pastors, they went and they prayed over dead stones. They went over and prayed over the Western walls, which is, fine, they can do that. But none of them stepped a foot in a Christian church.
No.
None of them visited the local Christian population.
Because the Christianity there is usually typically Orthodox. The Orthodox Church is the third largest landowner in Israel, or in Jerusalem, I should say. So, no, of course, they're not going to go to an Orthodox church because they're not Christian. This is the thing. Evangelicalism and all of this Judaizing heresy is heterodoxy. And we've got to figure out that there's not 1,000 million types of Christianity in reality. There are 1,000 million sects that claim to be Christian, but the Orthodox Church is the only true, authentic version of Christianity. Not saying that everybody outside that is insincere or they're malicious. Many of them are sincere. When I was not Orthodox, I was sincere. I was really trying to do the right thing, find the right thing. But the fact that you're really sincere doesn't mean that it's true. You can be absolutely sincerely wrong. And if we recognize that, right? Like I could think 100% that 2 + 2 is 5. But my sincerity doesn't make 2 + 2 5. And if I live my life and act as if 2 + 2 is 5, no matter how sincere I am, and earnestly I believe that, reality will confront me. And I will not do well balancing my checkbook or buying Bitcoin or whatever, because 2 + 2 is not 5. So likewise, churches made up a year ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago, 300 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. They're not authentic. They're not the church. They're sects. They're heterodox. They're parasynagogues.
Who is...
They didn't go to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre?
Not to my knowledge.
Why would they? That's Orthodox.
It wasn't part of the itinerary.
How can Church of the Holy Sepulchre, obviously one of them...
Well, again, Evangelicals don't care about history. They don't care about relics. They don't care about holy places. They don't believe in relics and holy places. Unless, of course, it's anointing oil from the farting TV preacher or whatever.
Most holy places in Christendom, it's where Christians believe Jesus' tomb was, sepulcher, tomb.
Yes.
Evangelicals don't believe in holy places. They're Gnostic. They don't believe that matter could be holy, right? In fact, they're anti-matter, hence they're iconoclastic.
And it's a wonderful place, amazing place. One of the great places in the world, in my opinion. How could you not go there if you're a Christian minister? Like
Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House.
Oh, yes.
He's a very prominent evangelical third in line presidency. Last August, he went to Israel. He prayed at the Western Wall. He went to a settlement in the West Bank, and he planted trees in those settlements in the West Bank. And he declared that these Judeans and Sumerian hills belong to the Jewish people by divine right.
So again, all of this is based on their ecclesiological heresy, right? They don't understand that the biblical covenants build on one another, and they reach their summit, their conclusion in the first coming of Christ. So all of these people actually deny the fullness of what was brought at the first advent by postponing all of that to the second advent, to the eschatological end times, right? Jesus brought the end times at his first advent. That's why every one of the New Testament writers that talks about the first coming, they call it in these last days. Jesus brought the last days at the first advent. Thus, the kingdom is not postponed to the end of the world. The kingdom, all throughout the Gospels and the epistles, is identified as the existing historical church set up at Pentecost. So actually, they all deny Pentecost. Even Pentecostals who think that they are acting out Pentecost, rolling on the ground and acting like gibbering dogs, they're not actually Pentecostal, because Pentecost is a specific redemptive historical event in Acts 2 that fulfills Joel. And every evangelical and end times goofball, when they read Joel, they think it's the end of the world. In these last days, I'll pour out my spirit on all flesh, and your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Yeah, but Acts 2 cites Joel as being fulfilled in Acts 2. And when you tell them this, it's like talking to a brick wall. Even though it's clear as day, they don't get it. In fact, the entire meaning of Pentecost, the feast of and gathering, only makes sense if it's the church gathering in the people. That's this whole significance of the feast, to gather in the harvest. So the church is empowered to gather in the Gentiles into the harvest, thus fulfilling the hundreds of passages in the Old Testament about the Gentile church. I mean, it's not that difficult, but it is that difficult if you are raised with a preposterous, stupid ideology.
What
We're going to be so punished for this. We're going to be punished for this. I'm just telling you.
He never
people who think the Bible is an eternal book, meaning that it's an uncreated book, right? This is, you're talking to, it's like Somali IQ, right? It's like talking to the Muslims and you ask them, can you explain the Islamic dilemma? I know you don't agree with it. Can you tell me what the argument is? I don't believe it. Yeah, but I know you don't believe it. Can you just restate the argument? I don't believe it. Can you tell me what it would be like if you had not had breakfast? I had breakfast. I know you had breakfast. Can you engage in a hypothetical? I had breakfast. That's what you're just the same. It's the exact same attitude with people who, that's why it's really effective to ask people in debates to restate your argument. And you'll notice most of the time they don't know how to do, they can't do it because they can't grasp it. They can't reason at a higher tier. They can't raise the level of abstraction one level. And so let's go back to this goofball.
Within the intelligence agencies and investigating them, what's going down. I'm going to be sharing little pieces of that, not everything, but little pieces of that. Me and Joseph Z are going to come together later and do more. And
what I was saying was they can't reason one level up They can't do abstractions, so I don't know how much you missed of that.
Obama, Trump, the Secretary of War have all come out and made some statements about disclosure concerning UAPs and UFOs. In addition to that, a famous billionaire who works in the aerospace industry has said that aliens are currently among us. I wonder what you think in the comments. I'm going to be showing you the video.
Well, if a billionaire said it, it's got to be true. Because, I mean, a billionaire would never be deceptive, right? We know that to be billionaires, you have to be a virtuous, holy, truth-loving person. There's no way you could become a billionaire without being altruistic. Who is the audience of this guy, by the way? This is such just normie Fed slop.
Of him saying that. Plus, AI has turned the Shroud of Turin into a living, moving image. I'm going to show you what that looks like.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
In this broadcast, we've got a lot that we're going to cover. But before we do anything else, we want to hear from you. In the comments, let us know, where are you watching from? And Oklahoma. Yeah, there's a lot of right now. But if you look at the things that you were, enthusiastic about when you were their age, it was just as weird.
I wonder if 6-7 is connected somehow to what we're discussing today, though.
Yeah, and I wonder no, it's not.
It's not.
No, thank you, Evan. And I wonder from the audience, what was all the rage when you were a kid that's just as dumb as 6-7?
This is just as dumb as 6-7. So what the heck is he even talking about?
And those are available for free on YouTube. So make sure what he says.
Give me just a second to fix something real quick.
Evan needs just a second to fix something very quickly. I think I broke into that a little soon.
Oh, come on, Boomer.
President.
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
Oh, so unless there's there couldn't be a massive conspiracy, could there? No, it's not possible. There could not be a massive conspiracy. But what do you guys think? So first he says, yeah, they're real, but there's not a massive conspiracy, or unless there is a massive conspiracy.
Yeah, the conspiracy is to get people to believe the whole alien narrative. That is the conspiracy. It's an obvious psychological warfare disinfo operation. All the people who come out, for the most part, as the whistleblowers within this domain have no credibility because they all say just ridiculous nonsense. And it's all hearsay too, right? Like, let's compare John Kiriakou to the alien so-called whistleblower people. A lot of those people have a background in psychological warfare and deception. There's no evidence that most of those people have been persecuted by the government, right? John Kiriakou was put in jail for 2.5 years by the Obama administration for blowing the whistle on the torture program. So he's actually persecuted. He's actually seeking a what do you call it? Presidential pardon, etc. The whistleblowers in the UFO alien sphere, I'm not aware of any of them being in prison, except for I think Bob Lazar went to prison for running a house of ill repute. So if you want to talk about like being a pimp or having like hoes, pimping out hoes, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay. Bob Lazar has been caught in numerous lies about what he supposedly saw and what he supposedly claimed about the craft and the reverse engineered technology. And again, we don't get any of that with Kiriakou. We get consistent stories, stuff that backs up the research that I've done, all the high-tier geopolitical texts that we've covered. In that 2-hour interview, we kind of went down the line asking John about the big stuff, and everything he says, yeah, that agrees with what I say, right? Well, I'm not just saying that, as you guys know, that's based on the big writings of the elite stuff. The elite push the idea of alien bullcrap to give us a new ideology for the West, get us away from the biblical stuff, something more amenable to a global order, something amenable to a one world currency, a controlled one world religion, right? All the stuff that these people, not Orson Welles, H.G. Wells actually wrote about.
To hide it from the president. The president is, after all, figurehead for the corporations that run all of the NGOs who are manipulating our government right now.
What? Well, he's actually correct about that. So he said one true thing.
Now, we're in a very precarious situation. We've got to get serious about this election coming up, but I don't want to get into that. We got into that on Flashpoint last night. Here's what Trump had to say in response to what President Obama had to say. Take a look at this.
Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
Well,
he made a big mistake.
Barack Obama.
He gave classified information. Read that to us, Evan. Is that
okay? So this is from Donald J. Trump. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, and unidentified.
Now, I'm playing this goofball because he claims that he was brought into this meeting, right, with all the pastors. Thousands of pastors debriefed. Supposedly. Now, I'm saying supposedly because we don't know if this guy was actually brought in, right? Who knows? Because it's all like hearsay and now you've got that Daily Mail even saying religious leaders told to prepare now for the UFO disclosure, which will lead to unrest or unleash Bible changing revelations. Bible changing. And we're gonna listen to this one here in a second, but
flying objects, UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America.
Now, this is coming right on the heels of the setup for the meeting that Joseph Z and I went to.
This is the day before? Is it the day before?
Well, it's the day before, the day of. There's a whole series of events, but the meeting was set up for the purpose. And I'm flipping through the book Summoning the Demon because there's been a slow drip of exposure that's been going on for decades.
He's talking about my clothing. I'm slowly dripping up to higher and higher levels of being a fashionista.
And in the book, which for some it's taken off right now. I guess it's because of all of this. It's even doing better than the rap.
So is he hawking his stupid book? What's he talking about here?
Is it the day before?
Well, it's the day before, the day of. There's a whole series of events, but the meeting was set up for the purpose. And I'm flipping through the book Summoning the Demon because there's been a slow drip of exposure.
I thought his book said Shamunian the demon, summoning the demon. So this goofball wrote a book about summoning the demon as he's brought into the pastel meeting by the Pentagon.
It's been going on for decades. And in the book, which for some it's taken off right now. I guess it's because of all of this. It's even doing better than the Rapture book right now on Amazon. But what I do is, because this book is, this is not me falling over the idea of aliens. I come at it from a skeptical point of view and simply say, what does the scripture have to say and what is actually going on? And so in the book, I actually found some previously classified documents that are recently being declassified, and I share them with you so you can see them. You can see them in the book of what's been happening in the United States government. That's in Summoning the Demon. And there may be a link in the description for you to get this. If you don't already have this, you need to get it.
Yeah.
Because
you can go to blameitonthenephilim.com.
That's right.
The best URL, but there's also a link
Blame it
directly in
on
the description to that. So
blame it on the Nephilim. Blame it on the Nephilim. I was in love and she found a man, but he wasn't a man. I blame it on the Nephilim. She left me for a Nephilim. What am I gonna do? I'm imagining that as kind of a Toby Keith style, right? She left me for a Nephilim. What the hell am I gonna do? He's got powers out his ass and I can't do nothing. I give up.
Watch the video about it and everything.
I can't believe that URL was available. Blameitonthenephilim.com. Because no matter what's going on in this world, you can always blame it on the Nephilim. But I saw so many going into conspiracy.
Dude, you might as well just not even talk about the Nephilim because there's just so many retards and goofballs that just make it look like the stupidest shit ever.
Theories. So many going down rabbit holes, completely detached from the Word of God. And everything was Nephilim. And everything's the Book of Enoch. And all.
Blame it on the Nephilim. She left me for an 8-foot Nephilim. I'm trying to figure out how to rhyme something with Nephilim. I thought you'd leave me for Eminem, but you left me for the Nephilim.
Stuff. And I want to say, okay, what's scriptural? What's not scriptural? And we kind of weigh these things out. Now, the purpose of this meeting was that there are several people who are involved in an organization that is investigating the United States government. And again, I'm not going to reveal everything because Joseph Z and I are going to do some program.
Yeah, because you were told a bunch of bullshit. I mean, you were given disinformation to, spill out to your goober audience and to your goober congregation, which is propping up the disclosure nonsense.
Together, going into detail about the meeting that we went to. But these individuals who are involved in...
I thought I'd go to Bethlehem, but my girl left me for a Nephilim. I thought she'd leave me for Eminem, but she left me for an 8-foot Nephilim.
An organization that is investigating the United States government and their illegal activities surrounding UAPs. They wanted to have a meeting, an urgent meeting, where again, we go into this Airbnb, we have to turn our phones on airplane mode, there's no recording of the meeting.
They went to an Airbnb. So the Men in Black meeting of all the pastors was at an Airbnb?
Because they're working with, there's highly classified information, they're working with individuals who are operating, who were there with us, who are operating.
Yeah, it's so highly classified that they met at an Airbnb.
Under aliases or under different names. It was a very, very interesting kind of meeting to go into. And we may talk about some of the things that we discussed in that meeting here in this broadcast, but ultimately the purpose of it was disclosure is coming quickly. And here's what the deception is going to look like. Here's the narrative. Here's what the propaganda is going to look like. And these people who are working in government agencies are pleading with pastors. They're pleading, please prepare your people so that they are not deceived by what is coming. Please.
Here comes the disinfo line. Guarantee you. What do you think he's going to say? Nephilims? Nephilim?
Teach your people. And I think they're accustomed to talking to people who think this is fringe activity or they're scared to mention it from their pulpits. So I think they were relieved to realize they were in the room with some gentlemen who not only are aware of these things, but have extensively taught on it and written about it, preparing the church. So that's the reason for this book, because...
Hawk my book. Let me hawk my book again. Every 5 minutes going to hawk my book.
Ask you guys in the comments. Before I answer that, I want to know what you guys think, because we're going to be looking in the chat here. What do you think? The poll completed. Let's see. 36% said they have had an encounter with a UAP, which Joseph Z said he had on the way home, by the way.
Yeah, Kim just typed just these videos they took on the airplane ride home was interesting. I got to see it actually this morning, I think, and it's very...
Kim Jong-il?
Very wild.
He sent it to me while he was on the plane.
Lil Kim? Dude over here talking about Lil Kim and aliens. Lil Kim over that way, she done got with a Nephilim.
Wow, and it is wild, and you can go to his channel and check it out.
Who the hell is he talking about?
But it's just lights in the sky. But when you're working with air traffic control and no one is aware, these things aren't registered, aware of what's going on, then you're dealing with something that's very suspicious.
This pastor's a smart man. He know what he's talking about. Guys, if you would support the stream. Listen, I don't act like a retard for free, son. If I'm gonna come up here and be retarded, as I am, I expect to get paid. If pastors can hawk their books, why can't I hawk my pay pickings to give me your money?
Where was I going with that before we dive into the next clip? Before the poll distracted my...
Oh, you're asking them how they think...
The Nephilims and the poll. The Nephilim's poll distracted him.
all of this is going to be released into the
What impact do you think it's going to have on the body of Christ? I want to ask you guys, do you think there's going to be a great falling away? Bishop may have summoning the demon, AI, aliens, and Antichrist. The purpose of the book...
he doesn't go a minute without hawking this stupid-ass self-published book.
Is so that Christians can actually have Bible studies with it. You can actually teach from it if you're a pastor, so you can kind of understand these issues. But international...
Pastors can teach from his book.
Ministers reach out to me in two categories. The first category is...
We don't care about your book, bro. Come on and tell us what the government told you in your secret Airbnb meeting.
And what does that have to do with the last day? So that's the purpose of summoning the demon. And you can get it for a great price if you go to blameonthepnephilim.com.
Good grief, dude.
Price. Yeah. I was looking here. Priscilla says the slow drip you mentioned. The slow drip you mentioned is the government using a form of mass exposure therapy that slowly and systematically exposes UFOs and UAPs to help reduce distress and panic. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yes. I agree 100%. Go ahead, Evan.
Tucker Sellers said they will say aliens took us when we are called home, referring to the rapture.
Yeah, they're going to say that aliens took us.
I knew they would tie it into the rapture. Right. These retards. There is no rapture, dummy. The only rapture is the resurrection at the end of the world. That's the rapture. Dan Goldstein says Wixantium retard tax. Yeah, exactly. Thomas says for $5, I love your insight on these things. Jay, God bless you. Thank you. Tingu, $5. They rented the upper room from Acts to do the Airbnb meeting. Yeah, exactly. Or did the apostles use Airbnb to have their home church meetings? That's what these people think. Ephraim says, Alan Dildaw always looks like he's going to laugh. Oh, you're calling him Alan Dildaw. Alan Didio. Alan Dildaw. Yeah, well, Alexander says, here's the $10 retort tax. I think we need to no more pay piggies. It's called the retort tax. I'm joking. Don't ever get rid of pay piggies. But for tonight, it's the retort tax. Have y'all paid your retort tax? Alexander paid his. Swag Cooker, $20. Is there a certain Bible you recommend that is in English? Yeah, the Orthodox Study Bible. I don't know why the camera keeps going from light pink to dark pink. Bird says for $10. Are the space chastity belts going to be available at jaysanalysis.com? Yes. And it will have a big picture of my face right over the groin. Jacob says for $10. Nothing. Mason Rice says, have you heard of the P47s and the P52s on TikTok? No, I don't know what that is. Specifically the topic of aliens. It's stupid, but I want to know what your opinion is because I just happened to leak at his disclosure point. No, I don't know what that is, dog. I'm not a huge follower of TikTok. I mean, I'll post some videos on there, whatever, but I kind of don't like it. Campbell Lamb says, the fool says, why would Jesus tell them to read if they couldn't read? Yeah, that was a pretty funny line. It's like Jesus saying to his audience, and particularly to the Pharisees, who were the literate class, right? Have you not read the scriptures? Well, Jesus wouldn't say that if he didn't think everybody could read. Pepper Prophet, $100. Make it clap like the rappers do. If you're happy and you're a rapper, clap your hands. If you're happy and you're rapping, clap your hands. That's what they're talking about, right? Pepper Prophet says, I'm going to be calling you Absalom, the way that you grape the Protestant on the roof of the world. Great stream, Slay Queen. Hail the King Wigga of Byzantium. That man understands. Blake says for $5, if you had to live a year on a desert island or a desert island with one of these people, who would it be? Destiny, T-Jump, or Brian Shapiro? Oh. Sure as hell not Destiny. T-Jump or Brian Shapiro? Can I choose death? Arakota, $2. You're not a fan of goatees? No, it's only Gen X goofballs that wear goatees because they think, I don't know, they think it's 2002 and they think they look like Mark McGuire or Kirby Puckett or some shit. It's like, dude, it's not 1999, dude. If a dude's got a goatee, I guarantee he's going to be playing a Creed CD in his car. Ephraim says his name is Alan Dildo. Mark, $5. I knew I had to tune in for your take on the slop from space. Jetta, $5. Can you explain Project Bluebeam, how it might relate to all this? I mean, they could use holographic technology to give the impression that dupe people into thinking there's a giant alien craft over a city. They could do that. I don't even know if they need to. I mean, they could just put out Boomer Slop AI videos and the boomers be like, that's a real ship floating over the Empire State Building. I've seen it. But they could use Bluebeam. In fact, we just went into that with Eddie Bravo yesterday. So I don't know when he's going to post that podcast, but we spent a long time talking about all that. Cheddar, $5. What do you think about Bob Lazar? I think he's ridiculous. We did a whole podcast on him like 6 years ago, so you can find the old Bob Lazar podcast. Tip to me, $10. Christ is risen. DDS. Do you like the music of Avra Piart? I don't know who that is. He's an Orthodox composer. I didn't know that. Go to YouTube and listen to The Deer's Cry. It's based on the prayer of St. Patrick. I'll have to check that out. You never know with music, though, because a lot of times it'll ding the copyright and shut everything down. So it's not, music is the death knell of live streams. They end $10. Pay attention to the Redstone Arsenal in the very near future. Okay. What's the Redstone Arsenal? Is that like a deep underground base or something? What is that? Redstone Arsenal, Huntsville, Alabama. Pete Hegseth reminds or delivers remarks at Redstone Arsenal. Operation Paperclip, Redstone Arsenal. Well, what is it exactly Fox News is going to tell us?
Joining us on Fox 54 News, I'm Julia Smith. You may have been living here for years, or were even born here, or you could have just moved to Huntsville a week ago. And if that's the case, then welcome to the Rocket City. But no matter what walk of life someone who lives in Huntsville comes from, there is bound to be someone in every group who doesn't exactly know what goes on at the Redstone Arsenal. Nixon, you were at the Redstone Arsenal update today, so tell us, what is the...
Bro, we used to have, good-looking reporter women. What's happening? They're expanding. They're blimping up, dude.
Redstone Arsenal.
Okay, Julia, I attended today's luncheon where it was very clear that not only has the
She attended the luncheon. She attended second breakfast as well.
Arsenal served as an economic baseline for the city of Huntsville, but it's also played a role as the heartbeat of the city. Again, economically, but
Unfortunately, this is the average shape of the women in the South, because people in the South they don't know how to eat. They think that eating is eating all of the slop that is like seed oils and gas station food. And when you try to explain this to people in the South, their eyes glaze over and they don't know what you're talking about. And then they turn into 500-pound people. And you try to explain to them that that's not real food. And it's just like talking to children.
also in innovation. Take a look. For starters, what is the Redstone Arsenal?
There's so much that goes on out there, things that impact us from a national, international, and quite frankly, intergalactic type of environment base, whether it is the intelligence community or law enforcement. There's so much that goes on out there. It truly is a federal campus of excellence
A federal campus of excellence? What kind of gay talking point speak is this?
It used to just be basically Army, but now there are so many. I think they announced 70-plus tenant organizations out there that do a tremendous amount for our nation.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're awesome. He said they're tremendous. He said like 5 times how tremendous they are. Okay, so what is that?
So maybe it's not that simple of a question to answer. But basically, what the Arsenal is a culmination of defense organizations that all occupy the same space. Smaller organizations and businesses also occupy this space and help support these tenants like NASA and the FBI, for example. This not only helps create mutually beneficial relationships between tenants, organizations, and the community, but also...
So basically a place where there's a large collating of intelligence and men in black type stuff. So... in other words, I think the super chatter is implying that when there is some sort of bullshit, whatever's coming, blue beam or whatever, it might be involving this entity.
a breeding ground for innovation.
Redstone really leads the way in innovation. We started out with where we're at by putting the man on the moon. Basically, like you could put a man on the moon. Look at what we're doing here, and we've kind of taken the ball and run with it. Whether it's missile defense, Army aviation, and
so in other words, we can run giant psyops. There's no telling what kind of a giant psyop we can run out of here.
I think the companies in town have taken that ball from our organizations and they said, hey, run with it, and we've done that part. And so you'll see a lot of companies here start their own innovation lab or innovation center because their customers on Redstone, they have that need, and it's just kind of working together in that.
And the Arsenal has not only paved the way for innovation here in the Tennessee Valley, but the Arsenal has also supplied the Tennessee Valley with a lot of employment and a lot of economic growth.
All of these other organizations that come in, the Mazdas, Toyotas, the Toyota Motor Manufacturing, Polaris, all of those have come along afterwards, but that baseline capability that Redstone provides allowed Huntsville to be successful and to grow into those types of activities. And so
Yeah, so the only way that anybody was successful was because the military-industrial complex afforded that success, which is ridiculous. But yeah, it sounds like that would definitely be a potential hub of non-sensory here. All right, these guys are getting on my nerves. If they don't say something interesting, I'm going to move on.
Said unprepared people are easily deceived. Mark says there is already a great falling away now. The next one, greater falling away when exposed, people will freak out. Children of God, prepare. Perfect Fall says summer harvest of souls in Isaiah 28. When you see these signs in the air as well, summer is near. Summer equals the harvest of souls from darkness. Let's see, we got Sharon. Sharon says, I saw one in broad daylight.
I love how these evangelicals will take prophecies from Isaiah, which are speaking specifically to a time period immediately, grammatically, historically, in terms of what Isaiah was dealing with. I'm not denying prophecies and typology, obviously, but I mean, he just sort of blew through all these passages where Jesus talking in the book of Mark to a specific people group, but they all now apply to the end times harvest and the alien descent. It's just like the insane levels of like creative eisegesis of evangelicals is just preposterous.
Interesting.
Wow.
Let's see here. It's
Preacher Vicky, who we love, Preacher Vicky, says, I think when this comes to full disclosure, the church is going to be viewed as antagonistic. That's exactly right. The church is going to be viewed as a hindrance. And one of the things that was shared with us is that there are many supposed allies in the body of Christ or in this space. We talk about UFOs, UAPs, who claim to be Christian, who are going to start to view or at least present.
I don't know why people even bring up that. I knew that Giorgiani dude was a lunatic from day one. And it's like all over the years, so many people, you need to talk to Jason Giorgiani. I was like, dude, this guy's ridiculous. He was ridiculous. Like from day one, you didn't see that.
The view that traditional Christianity has of these things as being too simplistic and that we need a more nuanced understanding of this. That it's not, people who say it's just demons, which I would agree that there is a complexity to the rank and file of fallen angels and their operation in the earth. But that's not simply what they're saying. They're saying anyone who says these are purely evil, purely demonic, that's just too simplistic and really holding us back from really truly understanding what's happening. That's going to be a huge
This guy's a goober, but I think that Stephen Greer is obviously full of shit. Like anybody that's a channeler, like why are we listening to somebody who claims to be a channeler?
Many Christians are going to be captivated by. And they walk through for us the propaganda campaign and many of the key voices that are speaking right now and what their true background is because they know them personally. And so that was a part of that disclosure. Now we showed Obama saying, yeah, they're real. They're real.
Yeah, we don't need a recap, dude. Come on. Move to something interesting.
When asked about it.
3 days ago, President Trump directed you to begin the process of identifying and releasing the UFO and UAP files. Did you ever think that you would be the Secretary of War in charge of potentially declassifying extraterrestrial life for the American people?
I did not have that on my bingo card at all.
And are you prepared to do that now?
Of course. I mean, we've got our people working on it right now. I don't want to oversell how much time it will take, right? We're digging in. We're going to be in full compliance with that executive order, eager to provide that for the president. So there'll be more coming on that as far as the process of what we'll do.
And what sort of time frame? Do you have any sense for how long this is going to take?
I don't have a time frame for you yet, but stand by because we'll get it for you.
And do you think aliens are what's happening?
What?
Do you think aliens exist?
We'll see. I get to do the review and find out along with you.
Now, I need every pastor to listen to this. And in a moment, we're going to show you what this billionaire involved in
He's a pastor.
The aerospace industry has to say about aliens walking among us. And then we're going to show you the AI image where it takes a Shroud of Turin image and brings it to life. We're going to show you that.
What does the AI Shroud of Turin nonsense slop have to do with any of this? This is so stupid, dude. Come on, get to something interesting.
The super chat.
Please don't hawk your book again, dude.
Greatly appreciate the super chat. He says, I'm Eastern Orthodox, and my church, along with the Catholics, teaches this. That's true.
What?
That's true. And the Catholic Church in particular is already developing theology and coming up with statements on when these aliens come, are we supposed to baptize them or are they going to baptize us? So this conversation is being had. So the Protestant church, the evangelical church, has got to begin to talk about this. And by the way, I think we need to be thankful for all the positives in the different areas of the body of Christ, the different streams, if you will.
The body of Christ is 1,000 different sects that are streams. This is so stupid.
Orthodox to Catholic. Do you know that there are positives in the Baptist, in the Methodist, in the Presbyterian, in the Lutheran, in the Pentecostal, in the Assembly of God, in the Church of God?
We're all church, baby. We're all the church. What about Mormons? Well, they ain't the church. Well, I thought we all were. Well, we all are.
Word of faith, prosperity, and all these different worlds, there are positives that we've got to pull from, and we've got to talk about these things. None of these things.
So notice that all evangelicalism is inherently ecumenist, right?
Should cause us fear, Patty says in the comments. We know whose we are and where our home is. Yeah. Like Joseph said, why read the Bible when I can just have an opinion? When speaking about people's comments, that's exactly right. Don't let the Bible get in the way of what you believe. But the Bible has a lot to the government.
When is he going to say something about his Men in Black meeting he went to at the Airbnb? By the way, was it a nice Airbnb? Or did they give you like the rent the couch for the night Airbnb?
It's coming quick. It's coming quick. And that's why they were setting up the meeting weeks in advance. And the week we had it.
By the way, my freaking tax money, I just got graped by the tax people. And my tax money paid for your stupid Airbnb. I hope it was. I hope you didn't get a nice one.
Same time that all of this is happening. And by the way, remember this meeting was had because they're saying it's coming quick. It's coming quick. And that's why they were
Okay, what was in the meeting? At the Airbnb.
setting up the meeting weeks in advance. And the week we had it, all of these comments dropped. From Obama to President Trump to the Secretary of War. At the same time, we have Hollywood pressing in with Steven Spielberg, who could be, allegedly, who knows, partnering with the government to bring this kind of disclosure, is releasing a movie called.
Do these people listen to what we talk about and then just rip off everything that we say and repackage it for their ADIQ evangelitard audience?
Disclosure Day, Evan.
On that, don't they all, like in that movie, isn't the premise where everyone on the entire planet, that information gets downloaded to them at once?
No, I don't think that's the premise. I think where it's released at once. And one of
No, it's the clicking, dude. It's all about the clicking. You thought the internet was all about the clicks. No, the aliens is all about the click.
the news anchors, it's shown, I believe, in the trailer, becomes a medium for this information.
This man has prophesied the whole show I did tonight. He knew what I was going to do on this whole broadcast. This man is a prophet.
And there are many in the government. There are different pockets and segments. This is one of the things that was confirmed to us in this meeting, that there are different pockets and segments within the government who all have a different opinion about this and all think they're right and are all operating independently. And there are people who think that these are benevolent beings that we need to cooperate with and that we need to learn more about. There's another organization that is more Luciferian, and they understand that these things are demonic entities, and they're willing to trade anything to partner with them in exchange for power, for influence, and for information and technology. So more on that to come as we discuss this, because it's vitally important that we understand this. But if pastors don't begin to talk about this, many will fall away because they're already looking for an excuse to fall away.
I'm a pastor. Are you a pastor? Come be a pastor with me. Be my BFF. We'll be pastors together. We could be gay pastors at Gavin Ortland's church. We could all be gay, married pastors. Married men and a pastorship at Gavin's church. Yeah.
Chief among sinners. What are your thoughts on allegations against St. Seraphim Rose? I don't have any thoughts about it. What do you think about Blue Beam? We already answered that. Nelly, $25. I don't know if you guys know the rhyming slang, but there's a new one called Bob Lazar in the place of bazaar. For example, being my neighbor came by this morning dressed as a Nephilim, and it was something Bob Lazar, bazaar. Okay. Ryan says, speaking of arsenals, did you ever research Edgewood Arsenal? Yeah, I'm familiar with that one. Most notably, the delirium chemical weapon. No, I didn't know about that, but I've read a couple books on deep underground bases and Site R and, I just went blank. Not Edgewood Arsenal, but NORAD, excuse me. But there's a whole bunch of other sites. Like there's actually tons and tons of underground bases. And there's only a couple books about that. But one of the first books that talked about it was Puzzle Palace by James Bamford, which was the first book to come out about the NSA, I think in 1982 or 3. And he talks about Crystal City, which is a underground city in DC. A few people know about that. Lob Bazaar. Cheddar says, Jay, if you don't live in America, where would you go? I would go to a coast, an island, like a Costa Rica or somewhere that had an Orthodox church. Lee says for $1, nothing. Phantasm, $10. Everybody join me on the top of your cars, and we'll have a walkie-talkie channel. Yeah, we're going full signs here, right? Remember in Signs, when they get the walkie-talkies out, they get on top of the car to hear the alien clicks. It's contaminated. Bobby says, hey, you see the leprechaun? Say, yeah. That wasn't a leprechaun. It was an alien, dude. Everybody see that alien leprechaun? Say, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to uproot that tree. I'm going to get that alien. I want to know where the alien at. Aqua Moat, $10. Happy Hump Day, Jay. That sounds a little gay, dude. Snakefoot, $5. Perhaps if the woman looked closely, they would see that the only tomb was not only empty, but Jesus was glorified into a Bible. The uncreated pages on Mount Tabor. Yeah, that was crazy. You know what's funny about the debate? When I actually forgot that I was doing that debate until the day of the debate, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm supposed to debate that goofball. And I knew that he was a Steven Andersonite, but I forgot that they believe that the Bible is an eternal, uncreated book. I actually already knew that, but I forgot that. And then I realized in the midst of the debate, after he said a couple times weird stuff, like, wait, sounds like he's saying he thinks the Bible is eternal, like Allah's, eternal Quran. I'm like, oh, the Anderson cult believes that. I totally forgot that the Steven Anderson cult believes that. Lane Kiff, $2. Nephilim in Paris, France. I hope. I want to be with them sophisticated Nephilims. Okay, I want to be in Paris, which is I guess Muslim now, but I want a damn Dolce and Gabbana, right? I want Nephilims wearing Dolce. My Nephilim wear Dolce and Gabbana. I don't want no ghetto, Walmart clothes Nephilim. You gotta have drip. Slip Nubster $10. Jay, could you please elaborate why it would be a problem for Christianity if aliens existed? Well, first of all, there's no reason to believe aliens exist. At least I've never heard any convincing argument. I've studied this and read about this for many, many, many years. So if there is some good argument or reason to believe in aliens, feel free to bring it forward. I've never seen anything good, argument-wise, evidence-wise, that didn't fit into the domain of psyop, didn't fit into the domain of deception, didn't fit in the domain of hoax, or perhaps some sort of demonic activity. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, there's nothing in divine revelation or in the teaching of the church and the church fathers to believe that there would be alien life. There are celestial beings and celestial intelligences that we call angels. So you've got angels and you got demons, and then you've got life on earth. In terms of other entities out there, well, it would relate to the incarnation. Well, did Jesus become incarnate and thus redeem all of nature? Does that mean he redeems the aliens too? How does he redeem alien nature if he took on human nature? And the way that he redeems all reality through Adam's nature is because Adam was supposed to be the steward of all created order. That's why the whole universe was affected by Adam's fall. So if aliens are a other type of being, it just doesn't make first. And furthermore, the idea of aliens and alien worlds, that's a Talmudic teaching that there's 186,000 worlds. It's in the Talmud. So we would reject it out of hand right there. It usually goes along with pagan stories. The gods come from other planets and they come and land. So the ancient aliens nonsense is a pagan idea, nothing to do with what's in divine revelation or the teaching of the church. If you go to the modern origins of the idea of alien life, it comes from a guy named Jacob Halevi, who was a Gnostic guy. We did a whole interview with the Collins brothers on this a couple of years ago when their book came out, and they did a whole bunch of really in-depth research about where in modern history does the alien nonsense come from. And see, this is so obscure you can't even find this guy. Let's see. Philip Collins always mentions this guy. I don't know why did I spell it wrong? Somebody tell me if I'm spelling it wrong. Maybe it's not Halevi. Maybe it's just. This might be him. No, that's not him. If you have the Collins Brothers book, Invoking the Beyond, somebody in the chat, let me know what it is. Philip might have mentioned this in his tweet. Let me see if you mentioned the name again. Jacob Ilavy, excuse me. Yeah, so Philip Collins mentioned this in his post, but you'll find his name is spelled different. It's like Jacob iLive. Here we go. Here it is. Jacob Ilavy. Come on, dude. I got too many windows open. The computer's getting slow here. So this is where the modern faking Galilean stuff actually comes from in modern Europe. Here we go. This guy right here. Jacob Ilavy. He was the English type founder. Interesting. So dude was all into fonts. You don't find a lot of font bros making history, but he was a religious radical who developed a neo-Gnostic view based on his deism. He spent time in prison and was convicted of blasphemy. He was the son of a London printer at Aldersgate Street and his wife, Jane James, and his brothers, Abraham and Isaac. Around 1730, he carried on a type of foundry and printing business. I'm going to skip down to the interesting stuff. Blah, blah, blah. He printed an anonymous version of the Book of Jasher. And then he believed in a naturalistic explanation for Old Testament miracles. Eventually, he wrote a book, Discourses in Religious Truth, and he denied the deity of Christ in 1758. He took a skeptical view of the Genesis account, blah, 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 and then... Okay, this doesn't even mention the alien stuff, but he is... his neo-Gnostic system was very important for this. Yeah, so you can't even really find this even in just searches. You have to go into the actual like hardcore literature to find this stuff. So, but I assure you, there's a significant discussion of this in the Collins Brothers book. If you get Invoking the Beyond, and by the way, we also did a podcast on this topic. If we go here.
In ancient Gnosticism. Gnosticism held a very similar epistemological position, and that was that the world was a deceptive simulacrum, that it was not real, that it was a cosmic abortion. It's a very dysteleological view of things, and out of that view, arrive at this Messianism concerning the God of Jehovah, because after all, why would the Creator God have created such a terrible, deceptive mirage for all of us, unless he himself were evil? And so the Gnostic epistemology kind of provided the seeds for logical revolution. But at any rate, Kant's epistemological revolution renders the entire external world as deceptive as
people, sitting around speculating about metaphysics. All right, this was the connection at the internet, or the internet at this hotel was so bad that I'll just put the link here in the chat if you want to try see if you can make it through that thing. But we may have to do some more of the super chats here because I'm starting to get kind of tired. Bronson says, I'm thinking of converting to Orthodoxy, but I only have an OCA church. Should I go? Yeah, you should. Steve says for $10, if you ever debate Gavin Ortland and you can't mention fallacies, he'll think you're talking about fellatio. Yuck, dude, getting gross. Nephilim Death Squad, $5. I watched Social Network, and in meeting prior to Peter Thiel funding FB, there's a scene where Mark Zuckerberg is making clicking sounds while he's sleeping. That's funny. Is Mark an alien? Is that what you're saying? Let's go, Brandon. What's up? Appreciate that. Guys, I'm not going to read the $1 super chat because people start just putting long $1 questions. So no, you got to get $5 to $10 at least. Lestrada, $3. No, I'm not familiar with what that is. Never heard of Ancient Path. I don't know why the internet's acting all weird and slow all of a sudden. The aliens are doing it. What? Wapiti? Cardinal Pizza Bola is baptized in the Xeno Skittles people. And that was not on my bingo card until now. Exactly. Prot says, my name is Prot. You humans are a really silly monkey species. On my planet, the Capaxians learned to unmute by their third orbit. Exactly. Exactly. We need to grow into being more sophisticated, more fake and gay like the Galians. Exactly. Okay, is this the same dude or is this another dude? Oh, here we go. This popped up. Another pastor. There's a pastor. The pastors have been to the meeting. The same pastors that go to meetings to support Israel have been to the alien meetings.
Video that's going around of me in regards to the meeting of pastors that gathered to discuss the upcoming so-called.
He's got him a little goatee though.
UFO disclosure. In this video, I stated that a congressman from Missouri had called in to speak to the pastors. And of course, pastors! That is Congressman Eric Burleson. And he did call in, but he called in to encourage us and to thank us pastors for the work that we're doing.
Pastors!
And that we are, speaking the truth to our people and pointing them to Jesus.
Pastors!
And not get distracted of things in the world.
Say
and
pastors!
At that moment, I began to state
talk about the pastors.
I have always said. That is my opinion, and my opinion is, and that's exactly all it is my opinion, that when this disclosure comes out, that it will be spun, that it is, that the aliens have always been here, that they seeded us, that they created the first religion, and all of that. I should have stopped and paused and said, and this part is my opinion. In the heat of that, I didn't. I led with saying that they had called the pastors, and I went straight into my opinion. So I want to make it very clear that Eric Burleson did not say those words. Those were my words. And I want to own it, and I want to apologize directly to Congressman Eric Burleson for any problems that this has caused you, any confusion.
Okay, well, that was a dumb nothing burger. Are these the only pastors that we see? See, now this guy I think is a phony. Whistleblower David Grush says that UFO disclosure will escalate in the next 60 to 90 days. And so even Tim Dillon is saying a faking alien invasion. Bro, I've been here telling you for 10 years, son. I've been here for 10 years or more, maybe even 14, telling you about the fake and alien invasion. Look at this, 2016, son, 2016. 2016, I told you about the fake and the aliens. You didn't listen, you said I was crackpot, even though I was the one debunking the fake conspiracy. Tony says for $5, thank you for this content, knowledge, and the laughs. Word. Pepper Prophet says for $25, I really want to become Orthodox, but I don't want to make a pilgrimage to India. Any tips? Those that Orthodox, get it? Dream King Mom MMA, $3. My priest, Father Joseph Lucas, discussed things on a Ubi interview recently, and I wanted to reach out to do sit down. I'm not going to be in Miami for a while, so I don't know about sit downs. They're kind of difficult. However, the next time I am back in Florida, we did discuss an in studio interview with John Kiriakou. So perhaps if I do a Kiriakou interview, we can set that up. So just pay attention to my channel when you see that happening, and then hit me up around that time. Cheddar. No, we did that one. Garwall, $20. Have you seen the YouTube broadcast of SPERM racing? No, but that sounds kind of weird. It's portrayed like a college sport. Is that a joke video or is that being serious? Can we recover from this degeneracy? I mean, is it just an AI, is it people making comedy clips, or is that supposed to be like a real thing they're betting on or something? That's pretty weird. It's kind of weird, dude. Now, isn't it interesting providential timing, too, that we just get the canonization of Father Seraphim Rose to be Saint Seraphim Rose, which I think everybody knew was going to happen eventually, but right when we're getting alien disclosure, and of course, what's the book that many people encounter orthodoxy through, or Father Seraphim Rose through? Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future, which we covered 10 years ago on a podcast, in which Jamie just covered on her channel the other day. Bong says for $5, WTC was designed for open floor plans and no beams, thus the middle of the working space, like other buildings, instead had a huge column. Other buildings had a huge column. I mean, maybe it's possible that they planned an event even when they built it, but I don't know. I mean, was it John? No, it was Jacob Ilive, Ilive, and he is a significant figure in the argumentation of the Collins Brothers book, Invoking the Beyond. ZK says for $5, please react to James Manning, Dr. Manning. We all think we love to laugh. Isn't it funny? Because remember when it was Professor Manning, and he was kind of like the funny black preacher back in the day, because Alex would have him on. Long-legged Mac Daddy, Barack Obama. The long-legged Mac Daddy, remember that? And then Jesse Lee Peterson kind of took over. He kind of replaced that high-tier BIPOC sphere that Pastor Manning inhabited. And then people forget about Pastor Manning. But every now and then he pops back up. Prayer of a Righteous Man. It's 2 minutes. He's the same pastor that said that there's Ebola semen in Starbucks coffee. I didn't know he said that. Dude, these black preachers is wild. I'm talking about myself. Where is the clip? Is that on YouTube or is that on like X or something? Let's see. Pastor Manning, prayer of a righteous man. So you guys always ask for these clips, and I don't know where am I supposed to get them, dude? I mean, I'd love to watch the clip, but is it on his channel? You said it is from May 4th. Okay, well, there's nothing on the channel, so I don't know where I'm supposed to find this. Lil Natty says for $5, do you have books on Chuck Missler? Are you have videos? No, I don't. I mean, that's just evangelical idiot slop. Saltwater says $5. God bless you. Thank you so much. Serious, $10. I'm a huge fan of what you do. I love that you actually read books. That's a rare thing. Have you read Valis? No, I've not read Valis yet, but I'd like to. We want to do PKD. The only problem is that nobody sends super chats if I do book streams, unless they're like Global Elite books. Derek says for $10, Jay, did you hear Nick Rocheford's impression of Jesse Lee Peterson? No, I haven't. Let's see.
Tammy. No? So it looks like I could be wrong about everything I say.
Well, he was crying so much you'd think that she's dead.
Maybe it was just the experience of her being tormented, I guess.
My wife's tough to live with.
Maybe he will. Well, no.
She's not the easiest person to be married to.
He starts talking shit.
Yeah, she's kind of a rough one around the edges. It used to be great.
That's a pretty good JLP. Nick has a unique, calm, like that's JVP when he's in calm talk mode.
Ever since I've been traveling, she's been busting my balls.
Busting my fucking...
I'm trying to make fucking millions of dollars.
Holy shit, Nick. Yo.
What?
Oh, wait a minute. I clicked his Jordan Peterson impression. Not Jesse Lee Peterson impression.
We must be born again of the Father.
And mother's
woman's love, which is evil, is pushed on earth as good. In order to live, you must give up a life. And the life that you give it up is a life that's been passed down to you from your mother.
It's like he has like a popsicle stick inside his lips. Like off there. Like he's got like a little piece of wood.
Do you forgive your mother?
Keeping it dry. Because I'm gay. Because you're gay.
That's a beta.
I keep my lips dry. Because I'm not gay. Why do I want my lips? So I can suck their dick?
That's pretty good, yeah. He sounds like
I don't suck dick. Gay men suck dick.
It's something dry. Just put like $1. You can do it.
This is how you do it. It's easier. You keep your lips dry.
That's pretty good. I like that. AI says 88 reasons why the rapture will occur in 1988. Ed Winston. I'll skip the synopsis. It didn't age well. Yeah, and Hal Lindsey had a very similar book too. That was a bunch of nonsense fraudery. According to John Adams, he took all that money that he made from his rapture books and bought a bunch of Malibu property. Derek says, no, he did that. Okay. Guys, remember, head over to chalk.com, choq.com, best in supplementation on the internet. Use promo code J60 Live to get 60% off all those great Chalk products. Now, there was another alien clip that I was going to play, and now I've lost it. And let's see if I can find it. No, it was just stupid Pentagon people talking about aliens. It wasn't even that good. Ferradino says for $5, how do you mentally handle being in the Cassandra I'm Cassandra. How do I? Because I am Cassandra. Okay, I'm a living Cassandra complex, son. That's just my life. What do you think is the next thing that you've talked about that will be proven? I mean, pretty much all the things I've talked about that were controversial are already proven. So I'm gonna have to come up with something new. Tinfoil hat. Hey, Jay, you forgive your mother? Hey, you forgive your mother? That's a beta. Male Bull Castle, $10. Jay, make a video anonymously joining random theology debates and troll people and use your voices. That's not a bad idea. If I get bored, I might do that. IEJ's $10. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Thomas Bagley, $5. When is your next Q&A? I mean, they're pretty much every other day, dude. I've got detailed questions and I want my eyes peeled. I mean, I pretty much live stream at least every other day. So, and most of the time that ends up being open calls, but I wasn't in the mood to do open calls today. Green Soldier, $10. Because I already did we did a Ben Swan interview today, and this is your second live stream. So thank you guys for the super chats. Temple, Green Soldier, $10. This happened just as Father Seraphim Rose is canonized. Exactly, that's what we've been saying. I take this as a sign that it was right. Yes, providential. Orthodoxy in the religion in the future is thus completely vindicated. Yep. If you forgive your mom, you're beta. Do you cry over Mother Mary? Kievan Roos, $2. You might have missed the super chat. Okay, let me find it. Scrolling for the super chats. Kievan Roos. Yo, I'm looking, dog. Nothing hidden. I'm sorry, I missed this. $50. I missed a $50 super chat. Nothing hidden. Don't be mad at me. Thank you for all the time you put into all this and all this work that you've done. Your streams have really opened my eyes to a lot of things. Thank you. I think we really try to be grounded. You know what I mean? We don't spend a whole lot of time speculating. We form our analysis and our assessments based on the hardcore scholarly data. And I think that's unique. Most people don't do that because most people don't read books. Kevin Roos, $5. Wes Huff's new series shows him in a cave church from the 3rd century. It was used for thousands of years and has tons of icons, and he didn't mention it. Shocker. And by the way, I meant to mention my new books that I got. So I got some new books that I'm looking forward to. We have, of course, Michael Garton's book, Early Icons, and this is volume 1. Icon Veneration Pre-Nicaea. And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't get the books or you shouldn't research this, but like if you go to Rome and you go to there's like 6 different catacombs that you can tour in Rome. So you got to pick one a day, right? Because it's basically going to take half of the day or all day to do one of the catacombs. I don't remember which one we did because there's like 5 or 6, but we spent basically a day there. And you can count on the tour being multiple hours. And you will see a plethora of altars, imagery, things considered relics profusely in the catacombs. And that's just one. So that guy said, that was just the heretics. I mean, there's catacombs all over Rome. And you couldn't even see them all, maybe even in a week. It would take you a few weeks to see all the catacombs, right? That's just the ones that you can even visit. By the way, I've just forgot this too. Back in 2010, 11, 12, I went to a giant Byzantine exhibit at the Frist in Nashville. So if you don't know, the Frist is the big museum in downtown Nashville. And they were putting on this huge Byzantine exhibit. And I went and spent basically a whole afternoon there. And there were tons of iconographic elements from before Nicaea and after. There were mosaics of Adam and Eve. There were relics. There were reliefs, all kinds of stuff that was very early. And that was just one sort of random Byzantine exhibit. So notice that in terms of documenting or understanding this domain, it's not just citing a church father. You can actually go visit these things. This is what these dumb Baptists don't even understand. It's like you can actually go to a catacomb. You can go to an exhibit where they show you 1st, 2nd, 3rd century Christian imagery. And I mean, it's like that is enough right there to tell you that it's not made up, dummy. Well, where's the source? Where's this? At the frickin' museum, dummy. That's a source. Where's the source? Where's the book? Where's the book? It's all the book. They worship books. They're book-dolaters. Snowbones, $10. Check out Alien Archive YouTube channel. Did you know about Gene Roddenberry's Council of Nine? Yes. In fact, I read about that in 2008 because it was in the Sinister Forces trilogy, and I know all about Andrea Puharich and all of that nonsense. It's all a bunch of goofballs trying to contact aliens and promote Gnosticism and nonsense. So yes, code is $10. Thank you for what you do. I attended Saturday liturgy, Sunday as well. My first catechism class at Roadcore, looking for a long road ahead. And I was into all this fake gay fed slop, aka Grateful Dead. It was all LSD BS. LBS, right? IFB, LSD, BS. Thank you, Codis. Appreciate that, man. That's really cool. The OG Ambulance says for $5, the rapture is a worship event that's actually happening at Ruslan's Rhythm Church. Bless God. Yeah, exactly. Thomas Bagley says for $5, no problem. I usually don't watch your live streams, so I didn't know. I don't even remember what the question was, but why are you not watching the live streams? Get up in this audience, son. How dare you? Get wrecked, says Jay. I became a catechumen Sunday in Great Falls, Montana. I'm so blessed. Great Falls, Helena. Good. Glad that you found where you need to be, man. That's great. JB Peltier, $5. God bless you, Bubba. A lengthier comb over looks good. Comb over? Comb overs, that's just parting my hair, dude. It's not a comb over. Comb over is what bald dudes do when they're bald up here. Do you see baldness anywhere up there? No, dude. We got damn Superman hair over here. We're looking like a damn 50s leading man. I'm damn Clark Gable over here, bro. What you talking about comb over? It's a part. Kievan Roos, I did find your super chat. Okay. I think I got everybody's super chat. Yeah, I don't see any that I missed. Okay, cool. Cool. Guys, like and share this. I need y'all's help because we fighting algorithms. We fighting damn aliens. We fighting freaking faking gay butt creatures from space. We're fighting feds. We're fighting liars. We're fighting heretics. I need y'all to help, son. Help me. Help me now. Help me now. Otherwise, a lot of fun tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Another vindication stream. Be sure and go to chalk.com, choq.com. Use the promo code J60Live to get 60% off all those great Chalk products. And I will